and good morning again for another morning coffee with Marcaida. And I wanted to continue on with some of the things we covered yesterday, which was, getting these obstacles in life. Some of you have sent some PMs sharing with me the kinds of obstacles that you're going through, and a heartfelt thanks for sharing that with me, because I learned from your comments also, as well as what we are all going through. There are always similarities to what everybody goes through. It's all, indicative that this is life, this is the reality, we'll face those. Now, I'm not always a positive person. I'm not perfect. I do have my problems and my shares, and I go through the whole process just like everybody else. But what I will do is share with you the journey that I'm on, pretty much. Why? Because we've got a media, we've got things that are going on, and I like to share that with you. And one of the things that I like to share is that these obstacles, and now that I view them, are there for a reason. There's also a term we say, how can these be a positive thing? How do you turn negative things into a positive? Well, if you learn from it, you have to look at it from a different way. You see it this way, turn it around, it totally looks different. And that's how I use my processes to make things easier to accept and move forward. Some of these things I used to call before as necessary evil. How can you appreciate the good if you don't even know what the bad was? Kind of a strange thinking, but that's what makes us appreciate things. Without obstacles, how do you know the value of what you have lost? Right? They say, I never knew what I had until I lost it. So that could be one way to look at appreciating what you really want. Sometimes obstacles are placed in there so that what you're fighting for tells you, is this really what you want? Because if there's value to it, you'll fight for that. Or, I didn't really need that because I'm not willing to fight for it. So this is one of the ways that you can try to turn the negative that's happening into a positive, because it's a learning experience that you can strive for. I'll take it for my martial art experience. It was that much important to me, or there was so much value to some teachers, that I would travel 6 hours one way by car and train for 2 hours and come back. I did it for 2 years. Why? Because that particular teacher's teaching was that much of a value to me. It was worth it. It was worth it. I had the opportunity to do it. I was single. I was young. I wanted to do that. Some of my other teachers, our training sessions were 6 hours long. We'd give up our whole weekend. Forget the party scene and everything else. We're training out there in the backyard for 6 hours, from 6 p.m. to midnight. Then I had to travel 2 hours back home. Why? Because there was value to that. The obstacle was the distance. The distance of having to travel. Later on, my teachers were in different countries, and I'd have to take the obstacle of having to go over there or fly them in, which was also very costly on my person, that of my families. But it was worth it because there was value to that. So when you look at these things that sometimes they have to happen to strengthen you, turn that into a challenge. Turn that into saying, oh, good, now at least I know what the value is of that thing I may have lost or have to work around to make it happen. And there's so many ways to do that. If I did not take the time to actually put value to going to where I was and meeting all these different teachers, how would I be able to, shall I say, appreciate the different things if I didn't have different teachers? I consider the systems that I studied as a yin and yang, and the weapon system that really goes to train with people who use this, people who go to a fight. This is their job. That would be the military. That would be law enforcement. And that would be people who actually have to use this. That's a different way of using martial ways. There's a militaristic, the law enforcement way. Then there's a civilian way, people who get into fights. You don't really have to be into a fight. You can walk away. That's where the discipline of the art, where you get it out of the way and you're able to pull back and say, okay, I really don't need to use this because I've got that self-discipline in there. Or the strategy of military, what to do that. And then there's the other group where people who just happen to use it, not probably martial artists. And I've studied with some of these teachers who weren't martial artists, but it taught me a way of life. If I did not go through the obstacles of seeking all these different teachers, I wouldn't be where I am today to be able to know what the good is and what the bad is. Even on the times when I was with the darker side of mentality of training, it was because I had a teacher on the lighter side who pulled me back and says, this is not what you want. That's not you. You're this person. Do you really want that? Is it good for your soul? The other one just take it out. So without that kind of overall teaching from different teachers and the obstacles of getting to them, I would have not learned anything and be where I am today. And I say thank you for all these, even the obstacles that present themselves. They are necessary evils. If they are evils, we're just saying necessary learning curves that are put and obstacles and challenges in front of me. So to you who, you know who you are when you send me your PMs about that, how does one stay positive even when it is the saddest thing in the world? Well, This is the reality. We live in this life. It's what we do in this life that matters. Whether we have to go through the hardships of pain, that's part of life. And we just have to fight through it because pretty much that's all we got. That's pretty all we got, right? But what makes it better? I guess it's the people that you love around, right? Without true love, we just exist. And just existing is not enough. So make your mark, take the obstacles presented in front of you, make it a learning curve, make it a positive curve. And, you know, like I said, when I first receive it, I'm just like you guys do. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Or, you know, I want to get back, or the pain of that, right? But then you go through the whole processes and then you move forward after that. Because no matter what out there, the key is we're all in this world together. It's what you do to leave your mark in here, and usually that's the people you love and the compassion, those other things. That's what I pull from for my energies to get through the obstacles, aside from learning and turning into a positive thing. So, slowly getting back into this. Hope you guys are enjoying your morning. I'll have my cup of joe right here. And I hope that to all of you who sent me their heartfelt stories, thank you for finding some similarities to that. And we're all in this differently. But at least you know that you're not the only one going through. All of us all around the world have our obstacles, necessary evils, or challenges to face to move forward. Turn it into a positive. You can do it because you're smart enough, you're great enough, and you can do it, right? We all can. And this is all I'm doing, just sharing with you my journey and how I got there. Whether it's through the martial way or it's through the people I encounter all over the world. Great structures like the maestro, who's very dear to me, or my other teachers who taught me the dark side, but then had the good side to fix all that. Thank you to everyone for those necessary lessons in life. Have a good one.